Hi everyone, welcome to the next video in this series from Magical Worlds by Johanna Basford, and we have the lovely cute little teapot here to do. Let's move in and have a closer look. So we have a little tiled roof, steps up to the door, little curtains and steam coming out of the smoke, I'm assuming, from a fire coming out of our spout. It's the most dear little thing. Now, I did have an idea, as I said yesterday, about what to do. So I am going to do what I said I was going to do. And I'm going to do a green roof in different colours of green. And then we'll move from there. I know we did green yesterday, but you know, it's okay. You can do a different colour if you want, but I'm starting with my lightest green. And I'm going to use the cadmium green pale. It's getting so short. I don't know if I've got another one of these either. But I think that we should be using our favourite colours, because you never know. You might change your mind about what your favourite colour is. And then you'd be sad you hadn't used it, you'd been saving it, or, you know, things like that. So just use them, I think, just to have fun while you can. You might decide you don't like colouring anymore. You might pack everything away, and it might be because you've not been allowing yourself to do the colours that you want to do. Just do what you enjoy. There we go. There's our start. I've been very random with my choices of where to put colour. There's nothing, I've just done a few from each row really. Now here's the cadmium green. What I was trying to do, but it didn't really show up, was make it a little bit darker at the top and then lighten it as I went down the tile. With the light colour it doesn't really show that much, but as you use a darker colour your layers show up more so you can see it. But it is quite a small area, so if you are struggling, just colour it in. Have fun. It is what it should be all about at the end of the day. That's why we're here, isn't it? To have fun, to relax. So if we're not having fun, something's going wrong. That's why, you know, I find it really hard though, I'm just choosing my next colour, sap green. I find it really hard to think that I don't have to colour every picture in every book or finish every picture that I've started. Now, even if I'm not having fun colouring a page, the stress of knowing that I had an unfinished page in a book would be worse than the, you know, not fun colouring it. And what I actually usually find is, even if I found it not fun for a bit, it becomes fun again, you know, so it's fine. But I've never really lost my enthusiasm for colouring. I did once, and it was very upsetting and sad, and I think people have experienced this, and it's not nice. But how did I get it back? Well, I'm just choosing a colour. Oxide of chrome, and then I'll explain. Well, what I did was I did a number of things. Firstly, I had just joined a colouring group on Facebook. I'm not going to make a recommendation of a group because there are a lot of different ones on there and they have different personalities. That sounds a little bit odd, but some of them seem to be a lot more beginners, some of them are more mixed skills, and some of them are sort of more heavily moderated than others, stricter rules, that sort of thing. And everybody has a different taste in what they like and dislike with regards to that. So I think it's up to you to go and just have a little look around and see what's there, if that's something you want to do. So joining a new colouring group with lots of enthusiastic members, I'm going to do this top bit with this too, who, you know, loved what they were doing. That sort of helped encourage me to do a bit more. But also I would warn you though, because if you go to a colouring group that's got members that are really, really good, it can be daunting, and it can make you feel even more like you don't want to do it because you think you're not good enough. Now, we have to bear a few things in mind when it comes to that, because I know that's often a reasoning for people. I am going to use the chrome green. There's always going to be someone better than us at everything that we do, unless we are the world champion. And even then, there's going to be someone kicking at our heels. Let's look at sport, for example, as an example of this sort of situation that probably most of you can relate to. So tennis, I'm a big fan of. The person who's number 1 in the world at the moment, I couldn't tell you who it is. I'm going to do this base in this colour too. I'm just going to do a light layer across the whole of it first, so don't worry about what I'm doing. They are the best player in the world at the moment, but they're not going to be for the rest of their life. They might not be next week, you know. They have to keep playing at a very high quality in order to maintain that. And that is the same with colouring and art. The person who is considered to be, I'm just going to do the edges and the bottom a bit darker. The person who's considered to be the very best person at the moment, and of course it's subjective, it's not like you can measure this, they might move away from a style that you like, and you might think, well, I don't think they're as good as they were, but someone else might think they're better. Do you know what I mean? So there's no right or wrong, so it's quite difficult. And also they might move to a different sort of way of doing things. This is green gold. I'm going to use this for spout, handle, windowsills, and these, whatever these are. So darker on the edges and lighter in the middle for our spout. So they may change. So the same happens with us. So try not to be intimidated by X person's art, because chances are you might not always feel the same way. And also, we are all improving all the time with practice. Okay, you're going to be learning new techniques, trying new things, or just getting better through practice because your muscles are building up, your hands don't get as tired or as blistered, or whatever it might be. So be kind to yourself. And the most important thing to remember is it isn't a competition. We're not competing against each other. We should be encouraging each other. And if you are coming across people who aren't encouraging you and are making you feel intimidated or just not enthusiastic, then stop associating with them. And that sounds really tough. Or just stop talking to them about art. So, you know, like there are certain people that I have talked to in the past who weren't encouraging. So I just stopped talking about what I was doing, and it was fine. We didn't talk about it anymore. I think I'm just going to block these in, and then it didn't make me feel bad anymore, you know. And if it's someone online, then just block them. If it's a family or friend, then obviously that's a little bit more difficult. But as I say, just try not to talk about it, and change the subject, move the conversation on. Now I'd like some other browny yellows to finish off my teapot, so I'm going to consult my swatch chart. Now the yellow ochre is very brown, and I think I will use that for my door, because I quite like the idea of the door standing out a little bit. So anyway, yes, what got me back my colouring mojo? I sort of went off topic then, didn't I? Well, as well as joining a colouring group, I forced myself to colour every day. Now this sounds like it was a chore, you know, I forced myself, but I was like, right, you are going to do something every day for a month, whether you're in the mood for it or not. And so I did. So I just said, right, every morning before you do anything else, I mean obviously you'd have to do it to suit your own timetable, you must colour a flower. That was what I set myself the challenge of doing, and I did that, and after 2 days I was rushing to finish my flower so that I could get on and colour something else, because I was back in it. I was back in the game, as they say. So it's it didn't take me long, but some people take a lot longer to get back into it. And it might be that you have another hobby that you're enjoying. There's nothing wrong with that. Just go and enjoy your other hobby. You know, the colouring will be there when you want to come back. You don't have to be doing it all of the time. Cadmium yellow. I mean, people say to me, don't you ever, you know, how do you manage to do so much? It's like, I have no other hobbies. I didn't really have hobbies before colouring at all. I was just working, and I might have done a bit of reading, but I do a bit now, not a lot. I'm just putting down a layer of this. Yeah, I might have been just reading a little bit, but I think I was mainly just playing computer games in my spare time. Now I'm going to put a darker layer, so more layers down on this edge. So I'm actually going to darken it up quite a lot and then just taper it off a bit. And the same on this side. So yeah, I didn't really do very much else. So yeah, but a lot of people have got multiple hobbies, so you need to give them all your attention. That makes it a little bit more difficult to find the time. Now our windows, we want some bright light coming through our windows. We need it to look very different to the yellows and things that we've used so far. So I'm going to use the golden yellow deep, which is here. Okay, it's very bright. I need to sharpen it, and it will glow. I think the other thing I did was I had a new colouring book. Some people get a lot of new colouring books, so they probably don't need a new one, but some people don't, and you can't always afford a new one. Another idea, if you can't or don't want to do that, is to go back to an old colouring book that you haven't looked in for a while, because that might have some pictures in that you wanted to do that you've never got round to doing. I'm going to use this terracotta light for my curtains. I'm just going to colour them in without any thought, really, just keeping it quite pale. I don't want my curtains to be my focal point, they're just the frame of the window. Yes, so go back to an old book you haven't coloured for a bit, that sort of thing maybe. Do something like that. Now, we have a door handle and a letterbox. Very tempted to use a gold, but we've done that, haven't we? What's the yellow ochre light like? Yes, that'll do. So I had to look on my swatch chart. So here is our yellow ochre light, and I'm going to do our door handle. I'm going to leave a little white bit at the top, and the same with this, so it might look like it's slightly goldish, shiny gold. Now we've got smoke and steps, and I think I am going to do these in grey. It feels like a more realistic colour, so I'm going to grab the Davies grey. It's like a mid warm grey. Now I'm going to start here and just do some gentle circular movements. Now remember, you can go lightly and then build up, but if you go hard to start with, you have to get in with your eraser, and that can be tricky. It's easier to just start lightly and then decide if you want extra colour anywhere, but I'm quite happy with that. I don't want it to look like thick black choking smoke, you know, just a little bit. Now I'm just going to colour the steps in gently. Like that, and then I'm going to make the bottom of each step a little bit darker. You might need to sharpen your pencil before you do this bit. I think I'm okay. I quite like that slightly thick line it's giving me. There we go. Now, are we done? I think I want to put some shine on those windows with a white pen. Again, it's not necessarily going to show up, but I just want to give it a go. You don't have to do this. Now, what some people might like to do as well is to put some white into that smoke where there are little dots and things, but I think it would just disappear because it's such a pale grey. Anyway, I mean, there are paler greys, but I don't think it's worth it. I'm just going to leave it like that. I think that is perfectly fine. So there is our little teapot. Now you could go into your roof a little more with some black or very dark brown like a burnt umber and make the tiles look a little bit more three-dimensional, as if they're overlapping a bit more by popping some shadow. Let me just point to it under here and under here. But I'm going to leave mine. I quite like it just as it is. I think if I put too much dark in there, it might take away from just the bright poppy colours. Not poppy, are they? They're just bright and different. So I'm happy with leaving it like that. But that is our penultimate picture. Just one more to go. Oh dear, that's so sad, isn't it? But I'm sure that we can have fun with it anyway. But for today, thank you for watching. I hope you pop back tomorrow for the last one. Please do like, subscribe and comment if you haven't already. Really appreciate it. And have a super day and happy colouring.